Okay, so you should have with you your pad documents so that you can keep up with me. We're going to start. All right, everybody in class ready? Alrighty, welcome to this lesson where I will be talking with my grade 12s in class through the pad, specifically with regards to the freehand concepts, the two freehand concepts that you need to draw. Now, please remember that this discussion is part of a much bigger picture and that your actual pad document will have to be part of something that you have next to you while we're doing this. All right. So number 3 in the presentation requirements talks about a neat, detailed freehand drawings that you need to come up with. Those freehand drawings need to be of the floor plan layout of 2 possible design solutions. All right. So for the conference center that you're designing, you have to come up with 2 possible solutions. Each one of these on their own A3 page. Okay. For the proposed new building, including what? You must include the drive-through area in the front of the rotating doors. That must be part of your freehand concept. Each freehand drawing must show the correct presentation of all the building features. What do they mean by that? Correct presentation of all building features. That means that this freehand isn't just rough sketches. When you draw your walls, it must be according to SUNS, the estimation of the thickness, the hatching. When you do the doors, it's the proper door. When you do a window, it's as if it's SUNS a floor plan. Okay? Correct presentation of all the building features, including the roof overhang. The permanent fixtures, if you're going to add your toilets, your basins, it's the correct symbols as in SUNS. The roof line, as well as the primary dimensions and labels. So the way you do the primary dimensions, the labels, the fixtures, the roof line, all of that must be like you've been taught in civil. But it's done freehand. Can you put a ruler close to this page? No. Take a ruler, throw it away. Can't get it even close. Then you have the calculation for the total area of the building and the floor area of the concourse. Must be clearly shown in a table on the drawing sheet of each freehand. So you have to show us a calculation of the total area of the building and the floor area of the concourse. So in other words, the total floor area of the building, but also specify the floor area of the concourse. Okay. Right. Any questions on that first paragraph in class? Yes.
So we should put measurements on our free plan.
Yes. Primary dimensions. Okay. So that means dimensions that you can actually use to determine the floor areas, but also for you to, when you get to the actual drawings, the working drawings, where you do a floor plan, that you not then have to figure out the sizes of rooms. So that's why the research is very important, to make sure your research is done accurately before the time, so that you already know the sizes of the conference centers that you're going to do. All right. Yes?
Do primary dimensions include like the toilets?
No, primary, it's not the smaller items, it's the room sizes. All right. Grid graph paper must be used to assist with the presentation of the freehand drawings, so all the fixtures are drawn to proportion. The grid graph paper, people, must be included in the pad portfolio. So for my kids, I've printed out a grid graph paper like this. I'll show you now how to use it. It's also in the description in the download, but you can, of course, get this yourselves. You're going to not draw on this graph paper. This is going to go underneath your actual drawing sheet, and just that which you see through, that is where you're going to draw it. But we'll get to that now later in this video. I'm just talking through the actual process. Okay, so you must use grid graph paper, and the reason for that is so that the whole drawing is in proportion. The width of the doors are similar all the way through. The sizes that you're using is constant. Okay, all aspects of this drawing, including the dimensions, the tables, the labels, the possible information blocks, must be prepared using pencil only. Okay. The use of any other drawing instruments, ruler, compass, will be penalized. So please do not be tempted when you see when you use any other instruments. Electrical fittings and wastewater disposal systems are not required on the freehand drawings, so take note of that. Do not overpopulate your freehand drawings by adding these things. It's not necessary. The drawing may be prepared on A4 or A3 drawing sheets. For our practice, we're doing A3 here. The A4 people, your drawing's not going to fit on it's going to be difficult to fit on, so keep to A3. It says here no borders, title panels are required, but please, look, the overall impression of this pad is important. Are you going to hand in a freehand drawing to an actual client that's going to pay you millions of rands to build it or to design a building and not put a border on? No way, okay? So think of this. This is a presentation that's going to be presented. Please, my class, you guys put on borders and just basic title panel. Your name, page number, title of the drawing, okay? All the freehand drawings must comply with the guidelines and graphical symbols contained in SANS. That's what I emphasized here when they spoke about the correct presentation. The drawing must provide clear evidence that a high level of competency has been attained in the freehand drawing. So these are neat drawings. It's not rough sketches. Okay. Okay. That's what they specify in the actual pad document. This coincides with the checklist, which I'm sure all of you have gone through. I'll just zoom in here a bit to make sure you get this. This is number 3 in that checklist. And this is how you're going to be assessed. Okay. So for each of the 2 drawings, we're going to look at this. Solution 1. Building includes all required rooms, areas, and is disability friendly. So if your design includes all the rooms and areas, that's the conference centers, the small kitchen, the concourse, the reception, the drop-off area, all of those that's listed, and it's clearly indicated as disabled friendly, you're going to get 2 out of 2 for that component. Prominent curved wall. Remember we spoke about it, either internal or external. Do you have one? And is it prominent? Yes, 1 out of 1 point there. The rotating door and the drive-through, that's another 1 point, so 2 out of 2. If you skip the drive-through, you're not going to get a 1 year, and you're also not getting your full marks in the first one, okay, because that's the area that you've excluded. Correct presentation of building features, in other words, the roof line, the walls, the doors. Have you indicated it according to SANS? 2 marks. All fixtures included. I'm going to check. Do you have all your toilets, all your zincs, built-in reception desk, the urinals, etc., whatever they required? Do you have that? 2 out of 2. Correct presentation of all fixtures according to SANS? 2 out of 2. The relative size and proportion of all features to each other. That's why this grid graph paper is important. I'll talk you through it next. Primary labels, primary dimensions. So what's primary labels? It's conference room 1, conference room 2, all right? Kitchen, serving counter, the primary labels. That's the labels, dimensions, the size of those, just the overall size. And then the 2 calculations that they've shown must be within the specifications. Then this is our judgment. Is your design functional and effective use of space and space? Is it utilized correctly? If so, you get your 2 marks there. That's a total of 20 for each solution. That's divided by 2, so you're going to get 10 or 10. And you can get 10 out of 10 because this is the only things that we are assessing. Can you add color to it? No. Can you add pens? No. Can you draw with a ruler? No. All right. Anything like that, you're going to get penalized. So keep to what is stated right here if you want to get a good mark. All right. Just a quick overview. So you're going to prepare your own page. The grid graph paper that's in the download and that I've given to you guys, in principle, each one of these blocks is 1 meter by 1 meter. That's kind of our grid. A square meter. Okay? So a doorway, how wide is a traditional doorway? Come, grade 12. 800, okay? So if I draw a door, it's not going to be the full width of one of these blocks. It's going to be only an 1/8. So you can judge that. It's freehand. You can judge that. So when you get to drawing, keep that in mind that you're going to use this. All right. Now you're going to help me because I did not do that before the time. Have your pad document with you. So I'm going to just line this one up for myself. I think you guys can still see the grid graph paper sticking out. But this is going to be for you all a good exercise. You're going to do this, what I'm doing now, before you actually start drawing on your piece of paper. So first thing that you do is you have to come up with a list of the specification list. And I think you guys have all done that already. So take it out for me. your list of specifications and constraints. We're going to talk through that quickly. Let me just get my own list here. Alright. So on a rough piece of paper, you're going to do the following. Alright. So we know it's a new conference center. So you can write that on top here. New conference center. This is just for us to help our brains. Okay. This building, we know, is a single story, of course, and it has a capacity for 65 delegates. Okay. That's a specification. Single story, disability. Dutch gable roof design, that doesn't matter so much now in this design. Okay. It's north facing, so they've given you your site plan. There it is. It's north facing, so this is going to be the front of that, okay? And that's just for us to know the sunrise and the sunset. Alright, north facing. Then it consists. Alright, if I look at the entrance, let's talk about the entrance here, and you can make your own, you of course going to have your own headings. The front entrance has a rotating door. And it's on the side of that, it's got 2 swinging doors. One on the one side, one on the other side. Okay. Then directly outside of this is a covered drive-through. Okay. Then we're going to have, this must be wide enough for 2 cars. Just writing it like this. Alright. And of course it's the extension from the roof already. Then as I enter, now I've entered into, what do I have? I have a concourse. Okay. This concourse must be no less than 110 square meters. Okay, this is the first important size that they've specified. Alright. It must include a reception. Alright. Then near, and that must be near the main entrance, of course. You can make an arrow there to remember that for you. Alright. Then off this concourse, there is a small kitchen. People, you can't go ahead without doing this exercise. This kitchen is 10 square meters. What is in this kitchen? Is a single zinc. What else? Come people, help me out. Built-in cupboards.
Space for oven and a fridge.
Oven. Fridge. Alright, work surfaces.
A serving area as well.
Serving area. So, am I just doing basically what you guys did? I'm doing it roughly, but this is the specifications for each one of these. Alright. Once you have that, now we go from this concourse, which we've entered in. We are going to go out, and where are we going? We're going to go into 3 similar sized meeting rooms. 3 meeting rooms. Okay? That can accommodate 15 delegates. Okay, now in your research, I hope you guys have researched this already. You already should have an idea. The average size of each one of these rooms, each is 36 square meters. Alright, so 6 by 6 if we just work on squares. Alright, as well as then 2 similar size but smaller, so 2 smaller rooms, and they are at 24 square meters. What else is important here? There is a stacking door in between them. Okay, and then there must be an emergency door in each one of them. Alright, then they go on and they talk about our toilets. So close by here, which have the delegates must have access. From the concourse you must have access to your toilets. So I'll just say female and male. WC is the abbreviation for toilet. Okay, and there we have, in the female, we have 2 toilets, 2 WCs. No, wait, sorry. So that's 3 in the ladies. In the male, we've got 2 WC's plus 3 urinals. And what else do they say there? 3 hand. Is the 3 in both of them? 3 hand. 2, so 2 basins here and 3 basins here. Okay? And then they just talk about access for disabled. So in each one of them, one of these must be separate toilet facility for this. Okay, plus one more for disabled. Okay. Now when they say the total area of this building, I'll zoom out here. I hope you can see here. Sorry, this is live, so it's a bit messy. All right. All of this is 320 square meters. Okay. Help me out quickly. The concourse is already 110 square meters. All right. Here we have 3, that's 36. So let me write this in a different color. So here we have 110. If we have 3 of which each is 36, how much is that? 3 times 36, yeah, it's going to be 108 square meters here already for the 3. Okay. The smaller rooms is 24, that's another 48 square meters. Okay, happy? Okay, so if I count 48 plus 108, that is 156. 48 plus 108 plus 100, it's 256, it's 266. Right? How much do I have left? Subtract the 320. 54. So I've got 54 left for what? For my disabled bathroom. Okay. Okay, I think it says at least, what does it say? Approximately. Okay, and this one is approximately, okay, off the concourse, so we have still have to add that. So we've got, that's 120 plus the 108 plus the 140, 48 plus this is actually 44. Just check quickly, if you take 44, who's doing the sum? Someone doing the sum?
So you have to split the 44 between the 3 bars.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do next. Just quickly check for me. 110 plus 10 plus 108 plus 48 plus 44 is? Okay, that's our 320. Then, as Tom said, our bathroom still needs to be split up. And again, in your research, although it's not required, but you'll have to consider what's the size of toilets. And you can measure the school's one, or you can measure some other place. But they have to be split up between male, female, and the disabled.
So, a
Yes.
disabled bathroom, well, as I've seen at Baylis, for example, there's only one toilet and basin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that doesn't
So
have
it
to
would
be
be
as
really small.
It's very small. You can read, the school has one, you can go measure that one. Okay. So, this is, you have to do this exercise, and yours can look differently, but why did I do this? Because now, for us to go onto our grid paper here, we have to know, where's my page now?
Meneer, ek het 'n vraag. Kom ons sê ek wil al my here 'n meter breek maak.
Yeah.
Mag te doen. Want alhoewel dit 'n bietjie dun vir 'n rolstoel deur.
Yeah, that's a great one. Okay. So what have we done now here? We've got an overview. So keep this in mind as we go along. Now we're doing a second page, and this is still not the one that you're going to hand in to me. Okay? But now I've put my grid graph paper behind it. All right. The entire building is 320. And I want you to remember here, don't make it too difficult for yourself, because you're going to, in the end, have to draw the details of this building, including the perspective, including the roof design, the sectional elevation. So, a shape that is rectangular or L-shaped or U-shaped is going to be a much easier one than trying to put this building within a octagon or a hexagon or a, some funny shape. So let's try and keep it simple, but let's do the next step in our planning. We've got 320 square meters. If I go according to a rectangle, it's about, what's that, 32, 320, what's 15 by 20 meters? What's that? That's about 300, ne? 15 by 20 meters. So if I go onto my grid graph paper and I just basically go, there's a starting point. Now each one of these, I hope you can see, is a meter. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's my 15. And if let's do my 15 down here. I'll go another 5, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 20 meters. Here I've got 1, 2, 3.
So the driveway is excluded from the 320, right? Okay.
Right. So if I start off with just a rectangle here, okay, just as an outline, that's already my 300. So there's still about 20 square meters of room here, okay. Now your concourse is 110. Let's say ideally you'd like to enter into that concourse in the middle of the building, all right. So if we do 110, that's about 10 by 10. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 10 by, yeah, 10 by, about right, 15 by 20. 1, 2, 3.
16 by 20 gaan vermeer keer 320.
Okay, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. So what is 110 is going to be 10 by 10, name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That feels so big. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. You'll say I can't count. 1. Shucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the concourse here, just in size, you see how big this concourse actually is in relation. It's quite a big concourse, ne? All right, that's the entrance into this building. All right. Remember, we're just playing around now for the sake of understanding it. Then we've got 3 meeting rooms. Let's use this back part here. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 meters. We have 20 like this. We're about at 36 meters, 36 square meters each. So if I go and I just divide this into 3, which is roughly 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 1. We've got another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And with some adjustment, there's already my 3 main conference facilities. Then I need 2 smaller ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 24 each, so 4 here and a 4 here. Okay, so let's say these are the bigger ones. Let's say meeting rooms. Let's say meeting room 1, meeting room 2, meeting room 3. Then these are the smaller gathering rooms, smaller. Just write smaller 1, smaller 2, and we'll have our stacking door eventually here. Okay, so we're just planning this. Here I've got enough space. I've got 5 by 2, so this is already enough in size for that kitchen. All right. In my mind, I think it is a small kitchen, but the shape and the size could look different. And then I have all of this left for my 44, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 meters, and we have 10 here. So that's roughly 45 square meters here for my 3 toilets, which is my female, male, and disabled. So that could be the basis of my first concept. Nee. If this is north, all right, and this is my entrance into my concourse, then I'm going to have my rotating door here. I'm going to have my swinging door on both sides, this side, and I'm able to enter into this building, and I can have my drop-off area, drive-through area. So you'll have to play around. Only once you've done this, Now you can make the rest of the adjustment. Now I can see, okay, well, I've got 20 here. If I make it a little bit broader, it comes to 16, which is then exactly 320. If I've got 20 meters here, 16 meters here, and I can start plotting my layout. The challenge here, you're going to have your entrances into the meeting rooms. Not, of course, this was now done quickly, but there has to be a clear entrance area into each one of these meeting rooms, right? I haven't done my curved wall yet. There is also a place for that needs to be done. So you have to come up, but you're going to have to do a little bit of a layout like this just to get yourself started before you actually start drawing the actual freehand drawing. All right, questions in class? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The concourse, it doesn't have to obviously be in the center because it has to have, what's it called, a lot of natural lighting.
Yeah.
So I can put it on the side.
Absolutely. Remember, this is going to be your north anyway.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a lot of light in here. But yeah, you can change this shape. This concourse can be just the full front. Or even, you know, I don't want to mess too much around, but let's say that concourse, you could have changed that concourse to look like this. You see? And it's even going to get even more light in, or bring it all the way to the ends here. It can just be a front end and maybe another portal going out like this. Let's say, for instance, here's another option. You know, if your concourse is this shape, and out of this area you go into your various rooms.
So when you are...
Your reception desk may be right in front.
When you're measuring your, rooms, do you include the thick wall or do you measure it from the space?
Okay, that's a good question. You're asking when we measure our rooms. So for the sake of massing it in freehand, all right, you can already plan on using it as the internal or the external. I would say the entire building can't be more than 320, so that includes the outside. So work on the outside of the walls for the 320. But when you're going to remember, when you're going to start drawing this, you're going to do your walls as follows. Let's say there goes the outer wall. All right, that's the outside of this wall. How wide is the wall? 220. All right. So remember, I only have 1 centimeter here. So in proportion, that outer wall looks about like this.
And then you measure each room size.
And then your, let's say your room changes here. All right. So let me just do a room here for the sake of doing a room.
Meneer, so kan ons hierdie so daai rooi wat hier net is. Kan ons dit by die huis gaan doen en dan net die
Yeah, you can practice it at home. Yeah, you can. So let's say that was my this can be a toilet or whatever I'd like. Right, you're going to add a door frame, etc. in there. But let's say this must be 10 square meters. Okay? Then I'm going to measure it round about here. All right. So let's say that's 2.5. You're going to write it anyway. 2,500 by 4 meters, for instance. Right. And you're going to have your arrows like we do in Sun. Sorry, I didn't do that now. But you're going to have your arrows all detailed correctly. Right, for this. But that measurement is going to be internal. But you have to remember your outer diameter measurements in the end can't be. Well, if it's 325 or 326 square meters, nobody's going to penalize you for that. No, it's in the proximity of that. Okay, but for your floor areas, work on the inside. Okay, but I think what's important is the actual ratios here of wall thicknesses when you do the freehand. So let me start on one, just for those. I'm going to use this as an example, and just do some aspects of it so that you see where we are. Okay, so on this one it was 20 in width. Just divide quickly 20 by 3. What's that? That's about 6 point. Okay, so each room here is about 6,500. All right, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 5. Okay, so if I start now, try and have this spaced evenly on your page. Don't have it in the corner or at the bottom or whatever. So find it nicely spaced in the middle of this drawing. So if I start mine, I'll start on this side and I'll count my 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm not doing my windows just yet. Make sure I'm just actually doing it now in construction here. Just the outside of that wall. Then this is 1 meter from this point to this point, and what if we think of 200, it's basically 2 millimeters away. You're going to do your inner wall. Okay, just in construction. All right, then let me do it down. It's 5 blocks down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your rubber with you so that if you make a mistake, you can fix it. Okay, let me zoom in here a bit. Okay, so if I do this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, right? The inner wall is again going to be a little bit thinner. Of course, you can always say it's extra sound barrier, and then let's have a window in here. So your window symbol is going to be looking just like it would if it was a civil drawing. Okay. Okay, take your time when doing these. We don't want these lines to be feathered at all, consistent thickness all the way through. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not doing all of this. Okay, I'm just going to show the elements here that we're going to look at. All right. So there's the end of the door. Now, let's say you're all following James's suggestion of making your door a little bit wider. Right, let's just say that wall continues. Right, you're going to have your door frame in here. It's going to be very small. Okay, and then I have my swing of that door. And I have my actual door. So all of this is according to how you would normally draw a door or a window. You still have to add your 45-degree hatching in here. Okay, freehand. Everything is freehand on this drawing. Nothing done.
So the title block is not freehand?
No, the frame and the title block, that of course not. Okay. Once we've done all of this hatching, you have to label, and this is going to be conference room 1. Do you have to put in here the table and the chairs?
No.
Why not?
Because they're all permanent fixtures.
Because they are not fixtures. So let's say we just call this conference 1.
Would you draw an electric oven, let's say, the stove top
Yeah, if a stovetop is a permanent fixture, I mean, they ask for the fridge, for instance. Although a fridge can move, you have to indicate the fridge. So, in this conference center, we've got our window. We have our internal and external walls. There's the hatching. We've got our door. It's labeled. The one thing that's missing here is the roof overhang. So, if you're going to have to show us your actual roof overhang on this drawing. Okay, and of course this one will have a ridge. Okay, do I have to show electrical fittings here? No. Alright, this is one of the conference rooms, but it's going to be at least this. Then when I do my measurements, you can do, remember we want to be able to see the sizing here. So have your dimension line, we'll do it on the internal wall. Alright. Alright, just before the bell goes, make sure it looks just like we would. Arrow, arrow, and that, whatever that distance is. Okay, so that's the requirements for this freehand, and you're going to explore that all out for the rest of it. Okay.
Are we allowed to have our phones and those and look at our images?
Alright, let me wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Now it's your turn. Cheers.